Huggy fast, me mateys, and welcome to From the Depths, an absolutely incredible game that you can get on Steam for about 20 bucks. Absolutely phenomenal. It was designed by a physicist, surprisingly. He felt that they weren't doing justice in video games, so he designed this amazing game that's basically nothing but absolute naval warfare. You can do everything from boats to submarines, which I failed miserably at the first time I tried to build one. You can do planes and jets. They've even got helicopters, flying fortresses, everything you could ever dream of, including amazing weapon systems. These things are incredible. And the AI for this game is insanely good. I am actually very surprised at how good the AI is in here. Now, there was just a recent update that makes it a lot more tougher, at least in my opinion. For the AI, at least, you don't have to have all this detection equipment, which is really cool because you actually have to you physically have to see your enemy now. It's no longer just AI being able to shoot at AI for the hell of it. So it's really neat that they've actually added all this, including stuff like being able to beat, a hidden boat with no active, infrared cameras and stuff that the enemy can pick up. You can have stuff like wireless snoopers and, passive radars, which don't pick up. And we'll get into some of that later on once we start going through. The one thing I'm definitely going to say right now is I am in no way, shape, or form an expert here. Okay? So I'm going to build some awful contraptions and things that will never work, and some of you more veteran players are going to look at me and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? So anyway, we are in the campaign mode, so the whole point of this is to conquer this map. It's a big, big, big map. I was actually quite surprised when they were like, yeah, just conquer the map. And I was like, oh, a couple hours of gameplay. No, this is a legitimate task. Something that will take quite a bit of time for you to actually complete. And it's actually pretty tough. I played a little bit of this so far, and it's pretty rough, in all honesty. I've died a couple times. I've done pretty poorly. They've never actually gotten to take my main place, but it's gotten pretty close. So the one thing to note, right here in this map, is this green ring. This is a resource ring. It's where you're going to get all your supplies. They've thankfully made it simpler now. They've switched supplies over to just materials, which is going to make it a lot easier for us. There's a nice top-down view of us. This is our starting fortress, the structure they give you, to start out with. Right now, we could probably bump up our resource gathering, though, because you can see the material is 5,000 out of 5,000. It means that there's still a lot there. It's growing at 6 per second. I believe each of the little resource gatherers will pull 1 per second. So we can add another 2 with no problem. Maybe even 3 just for the hell of it. Because we have infinite reserves here. Not all of them are infinite. Most of them just have, a small amount. We also have this little ship over here that it doesn't have its own AI. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I tend to just eventually decide to scrap this thing and get the resources. I'm going to move it a little bit closer because I think we're outside the zone that we can collect. So it's a really neat game. You can control weapons, or you can let the AI system take over, which is really nice. Especially because they can actually calculate everything for you. It's really nice. So, in here we've got our AI systems. This is what's basically keeping this fortress floating. Might look like it's not, but it's set in the water, but these are thrusters that are keeping it floating. It's actually really cool. And, down here it's just storage. You've got some stuff. We've got some engines for power. Just simple things. Nothing too crazy. I do like whoever designed this. It's a really neat structure for what it is. It's got some nice, design. Like, this is really cool. They used to have this on a spinner. I guess they decided not to use the spinner anymore, but it's really neat. They've got the glass down there. But like I said, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're getting the most out of our resources we can, so we definitely want to have a material gatherer. Now, they used to have an oil drill as a separate thing, which actually just pulled up oil, but they don't even have that in the game anymore, so we're going to stick with one of these little guys. Now, most players of this are actually playing with a different method where they're using the keyboard controls. I'm using the mouse. I've played a lot of games like this, like Space Engineers is a big one that I'm going to try and eventually get to on this channel. So you'll see me play with this a lot more. I don't really like the keyboard method. It's faster, but it's not my kind of thing. So you can see now the materials are actually starting to go down. There'll always be more, but now we're getting as much as we possibly can. I mean, I could put down a bunch more, but there would be no real big point, because this is going to eventually get down to 0, and we're just going to keep getting that 6 per second. You can see down at the very bottom of my screen, we've got that resource going up to 7,200 there. That's our resources. Everything we have costs us resources. When you look in here, you can see material costs 50 for one of these. Not a big problem. And I believe we have quite a bit of space on our structure here to be able to handle that resource, and we can always add more. But for now, what we want to do is we want to get this vehicle. It's floating away on us. It doesn't have an AI system in it, which isn't a big deal, but I think it's kind of a pain in the butt. Swimming is great in this game, because you don't have nice control. It's just kind of fall and float. It's a nice vehicle for what it is. It's got some nice weapon systems on it to begin with. It's got this nice turret and stuff, but none of it's AI'd, which can kind of be a pain in the butt. So we're going to tab out a little bit because it's a lot easier to see. And I'm just going to steer this back over to the fortress, and I'm probably just going to break this apart. There's almost no point in having it, because it tips over really easily. It's just kind of really... It's not a well-designed ship. It would definitely help us fend off attacks. So what's going to happen eventually is we're going to get some other ships coming in to just blow us to hell, which we don't want. We don't have anything coming up in our, zone, but they will start popping up here before long. It's nice that the game gives you enough time to be able to, prep yourself. For the most part, right now, I think they have the fortress designed well enough that we'll be okay. It won't be the end of the world. Alright, let's get a little bit closer. We'll cut our engines. This game, like I said, it was designed by a physicist, so, even stopping the propulsion on the ship, we still coast forward a little bit. And the waves and stuff will actually push this thing around. Our fortress isn't going to move, which is nice, because it's more of a fixed, floating, magical, thing. Now, this is a fun glitch that can happen. You could be, inside a piece, and you'll just float up. Not much you can do about it. I have glitched inside a lot, so I tend not to try and move. It's handy when you're trying to get up somewhere, though. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of this little ship. We don't need it. It's not necessary. We're just going to scrap it, and we'll just destroy it completely. We're going to gain all the resources back from this. So you can see they got back 1,600 pieces. That actually goes a lot faster than I thought it would. Usually takes a little bit of time, but it's a small ship. So, here we go. We are getting resources like crazy now. We're doing pretty good. We should probably go ahead and add in some storage for some resources. Just because we're probably going to need it. All of these work the same way now. They used to be, each of these was a separate thing, but now you can just throw anything that you want. They all, have similar storage sizes. I like the wooden ones, they look nice. And we're just going to throw a couple in here just to have them. There'll be useful just to, you know, not run out of supplies. It's kind of an important feature of, you know, survival. We want to make sure that, you know, whenever we have resources coming in, we'll have room for it. So I always just throw in a few extras. Alright, so the weapon systems on here are probably pretty good. We've got a couple nice cannons. You can see this one here is a cram cannon. Really nice, powerful weapons. We've got another cannon up top here. I believe that one's an advanced cannon, if I remember right. Which is new. I don't think in the previous version this was up there. It's an advanced cannon. It's a really nice, powerful cannon. It does a hell of a lot of damage. This is like our radar dish. It's helping us to detect over a long distance. So like our view that you can see here, this whited region, that's basically how far we can actually see. Whereas, you know, our firing zone's a lot smaller. This neat designed little guy was very clever. They put some targeting systems in here with a laser, and down below is an AI controller, so this thing moves around to help detect enemy units. And this is what I talked about earlier, where the AI needs ways to detect things. So they've added stuff in, like this is active radar. So the enemy, if they have like passive radar, they'll be able to see us from a mile away. But we're also going to be able to see them if we could pick them up. So it's really nice. But you can see it can't see that direction, but that's not a big deal because most of our enemies are either going to come from over that way for now. Because we're in the corner, which is a good spot where, you know, we've got two zones where nothing's going to come from, but stuff will come from over here, and over here. So, what we're going to want to do is start building a boat. Which will be really helpful because this thing is not designed to really travel. I mean, they can, but they're not the greatest, most efficient way to do it. A boat would be much better than this. So we're going to design a boat first. And then we will, you know, head out into the world and see what damage we can do. I'm actually going to come back after I get some work done on that because I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me build everything by hand. So I will come back and we'll do a quick little overview of the boat and we'll start heading out. Alright, I'll BRB. Hello and welcome back. So I was working on building our new little ship and you can see here we now have some enemy vehicles popping up. We're about to begin a battle. So you can see here, our fortress has already started firing. So we've got these nice missiles here floating away. And, ooh, some good hits. Hitting hard. Good. That's what we want to see. So we can come out of map mode. Get stuck. There we go. Now you're going to see some framiness. This game can get tremendously framey. Some of these explosions are pretty big. Now I've got some heat view. We can see there's an enemy over there, there's something hidden back there, and there's that guy right here. So thankfully we've got binoculars, and we can see more up close. Look at this cute, weird little ship bobbing around. It's taking a few hits, it's firing at us. That's gonna be a hit, I believe. And we've got airship over there, which we're trying to hit with our cannons. So you can see the AI picks what it wants to fire at. Right now, it wants that airship. It's a higher marked target, so it's going to try and take that out first, even though that one's coming for us. Now what we thankfully can do is we can go try and take that ourselves. So far, he can't reach us, so we are going to try and travel over there and take it down with our guns. It's not the fastest way. You can see they've already taken that out. Oh, looks like they've switched targets. They're going to kill that in no time. Oh, there was a good hit. Ooh, and another hit. Ooh. Let's get out of this water. It's such a pain, and it's so hard to see when you're zoomed in. Ooh. Oh, it looks like they're hitting the makings of our first ship. I don't know why that spawned. I pulled it out. But looks like their AI is dead. They're going to take it out. I believe there's just one more enemy hidden on the other side, which we might have some problems taking out. Because if you remember right... Oh, no, it's coming around. So we will take that out in just a second. Won't be a big problem. This is a good way to be able to view a battle from up above. Reduces your the frame lagginess that's going to happen. Not much you can do about that. See, they're taking a little while because it's kind of hidden, but our missiles are thankfully being able to smack this thing and take it out. It's like an interesting little wobbly ship. It's called the Sea Adder. Won't be too long before this thing's gone, though. It's already taken a couple hits and taken out most of its good armor. But like I said, that starting fortress is pretty good. It's got some decent weapon systems. The AI is set up pretty good. And as you can see, it's making short work of this guy. Won't be too long before he's completely gone. And we can get back to building. Ooh, there was a good hit. Took out a good chunk of him. Now, he's got some decent armor. Metal armor is a lot stronger than, you know, wood. Big surprise. But now that he's made it around the edge of this building, we can actually start hitting with our other cannons. It won't be too long. These little white lines, those are the target prediction from our two cannons. They're almost there. It'll take this out shortly. I heard some missiles firing. There they are. I personally like missiles. They're very nice when they hit. They can do a lot of damage, especially things like fragmentation. But you gotta get them to hit. That's the hardest part. I'm not sure if this guy's got some sort of defense against it or not, but we'll see. Lasers are also a really nice type that I like to use. Oh, there it goes. 2 damaged. It's toast. Sinking down to David Jones's locker. Alright, and that was it. That, you know, not a big crazy battle. We didn't take much damage, if any. Yeah, we're still at 100%. So, I'm gonna get back to building, and I'll bring you back once we get a little bit more done. Welcome back. As you can see, we have built the basics of a boat. It's nothing too complex quite yet. It's mostly just wooden frame for now. I've started to put some armor on the bottom of it's nice and armored up now. But we're trying to give it some shape. Something to pay attention to in this game is there actually is like water resistance. So trying to make sure that your boat is rounded off will help you move through the water a little bit faster. You can see we're choosing the metal armor for the outside. It's a lot stronger, can take a few more hits than this wooden stuff can, so we're definitely going to want to have some nice armor. Now I think what we want to do with this boat is we're going to turn this into like our missile boat. The missiles are great, they're high explosions, they can do a lot of damage, they're really functional, long distance, they can track targets while flying, which is really helpful. So I think that's what we're going to try and do with this guy. I kind of went with these little pontoon style for now, I guess. We're going to try and figure out some sort of shape to put this middle piece in. We're going to make this like our command center up here. So we're going to have a lot of like the viewfinders, all the detection equipment, the AI, the navigation, the boat, all that's going to be up here. Down in this middle section, we have our engine. It's a decent engine, everything's piped, so all the exhaust, it should run pretty cold. It shouldn't put out too much heat. The more heat you put out, the easier it is for an enemy to detect you. So for the most part, as long as you've got everything piped up really nice and all the exhaust going out, you should be pretty good. I've also thrown in a bunch of these repair bots all over the place. I really like them. They will keep you alive when you're getting hit. So make sure to throw some in. In front of that, we've got just enough storage. Not a lot, but it's going to be enough that we can supply those little repair bots. Down each of the pontoons, there are ammo boxes, and I can't really show it to you because I've really encased everything. So these are completely surrounded with as much stuff as we possibly can, because ammo boxes are highly explosive, and I wanted to give them as much protection as I could. I also very often put these in, so there's spaces in between hulls, so I've made it like a double hull ship almost. So there's a wooden part, and then there's an empty space in between. I put, again, repair bots. I put in some air pumps to get rid of this so that it gets more buoyancy, and then it actually gets to the ship. I've done that all the way around this ship. So as you can see here, you know, we remember we've got our engine sitting here, and then there's space in between. So right here there's a bunch of space. On the top there is space, and that's so if there's an explosive hit, it shouldn't, hopefully, make it all the way through that distance inside. Now we are going to cover the outside with metal. I just haven't gotten there. We were running pretty low on resources, but this should help us stay alive a little bit longer. I'm going to do some more work, and when I come back for the next episode, I'll have hopefully a nice shape for a ship. Try and say that 10 times fast. And we'll work on some of the weapon systems right then. And we'll see what fun kind of creation we can come up with, and then we'll go out into the world and test it. We'll see how well it fares against some of the enemies that are out there. I think overall this design, it's just kind of something I winged. Thought it would be kind of interesting to have little, you know, pontoons sticking out. Different shape than, you know, the usual just long boat shape. I wanted something a little different. A little speedboat style, I guess. Hopefully our engine, I mean, it's only a 6,000 engine. Hopefully that's more than enough power. But for the most part, we're only going to be using the engine just to push us forwards. All the missile systems, I don't think, require any energy from the engine, so we should be good on that part. We might add some shielding systems later on, which is really neat. I love that they have force fields in this game. That's really cool. But we'll see what we can come up with. And we're going to make some other boats. Eventually we'll make some crafts that go around this one. Maybe one of them that has a whole bunch of, like, cram cannons. Maybe one that's, like, big laser boat. That'd be lots of fun. I enjoy working with the lasers. They're really cool, and they do a lot of damage. It's really fun. Plus, you can make rainbows with them. That's the best part. I think, at least. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next episode. We will continue on our way, and we'll try and get some more action-packed fun stuff, because this first one's just kind of been an overview of that little place and quick little boat design here. We're going to get this thing up and going. We'll design a few more ships, and we'll be able to get some real nice naval battles going on. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you liked what you saw. Please leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for a boat, if you have the perfect design for missile systems, let me know and we'll work on that in an episode. But until then, I hope you guys have fun and stay in trouble.